Alright, morning everyone. Welcome back to Compound Interesting. This is Emil, and in today's video we're having a look at Bitcoin, and this is more for kind of newer investors or newer people who are looking into Bitcoin and the common myths, or not myths necessarily, but the common dangers and risks they see about Bitcoin that turn them away from Bitcoin before they've really dug into it completely and fully understand Bitcoin. Because these are the common things that people say to me if they're interested in Bitcoin. They say, for example, oh, governments are going to ban it, oh, it's too risky because X, Y, and Z. So I'm going to address the most common risks about Bitcoin that people say to me and give you my own opinion about those risks, because some of them are absolutely valid and some of them are completely wrong. So I'm going to give you my full opinion on all those risks, and then you can make your own decisions. Or if I probably haven't gone through every risk with Bitcoin at all, but these are the main ones that I've heard and that I actually saw Dave Lee. If you follow Dave Lee on investing, a big stock market Tesla guy, he was talking about Bitcoin and some of the reasons why he doesn't like Bitcoin or why he wouldn't invest in Bitcoin or is a bit skeptical about Bitcoin. So there are some of these reasons were from his reasons why he wouldn't invest. So I'm kind of addressing those tweets as well. So I'll probably be showing some screenshots right now. So anyway, with all that said, let's get cracking straight away. Alright, so the first risk for Bitcoin is the one I already mentioned, and it's one of the ones that come up the most often, and that's governments going out and banning cryptocurrencies and banning Bitcoin specifically. Now, without a doubt, this is one of the bigger dangers for Bitcoin and would definitely have a negative impact on Bitcoin's value and Bitcoin's price, potentially just in the short term. But say, for example, if the United States banned Bitcoin because they want to have full control over the money, they don't want a sovereign or non-sovereign money out there, they don't want people to have their freedom. So as I said, this would have a really negative impact on the price in the short term. Like if the US came out, Donald Trump right now came out and said Bitcoin's banned from today, I'm sure Bitcoin's price would absolutely fall through the floor in the short term. However, how easy is it actually to ban Bitcoin and ban cryptocurrency completely? How easy is that? Is it possible? Can they just go and press delete on the Bitcoin blockchain? Unfortunately for the US government, that's impossible. And the main way that they could ban Bitcoin, or they could have a control on Bitcoin, is to outlaw the on and off ramps to Bitcoin. For example, like Coinbase, or anywhere where people can go and buy and sell, any website where they can go and buy and sell or trade Bitcoin. That's how the governments would stop people using Bitcoin. But it'd be very difficult to actually seize the Bitcoin. They can't just go into your Bitcoin bank account like they could with a real bank account. They couldn't just go into your bank account and take the funds or make it zero or do anything like that, because you have complete ownership of that Bitcoin. So they'd have to come in, physically take your Ledger wallet, and yeah, this could be your dummy Ledger wallet that you give to the government. Oh yeah, that's all my Bitcoin. We also have one hidden upstairs in the attic. Or you can even keep your 24 word key phrase up in your head, and they would have to torture it out of you to get your actual Bitcoin. It can just be stored in your head if you want. So to actually take physical possession of the Bitcoin, the entire Bitcoin blockchain, isn't feasible or isn't really easy to do at all. But definitely the on and off ramps, making it illegal, transacting in Bitcoin, they could definitely make that illegal. Now, next point, how likely is it that a country like this or any country would outlaw Bitcoin? Well, it's already happened. It happened in China. China outlawing Bitcoin mining. China is still the biggest Bitcoin mining facility, still the biggest Bitcoin mining country in the world, and still enormous amounts of people use Bitcoin in China. So there shows that outlawing Bitcoin perhaps doesn't really work. But nevertheless, do I think other countries will do it? Well, I think if they would do it, it kind of shows that they haven't done it already, so they're not too threatened by it, or they're willing to work with it and potentially see that, okay, this could be very useful for our countries and for our societies or whatever. So they haven't outlawed it yet, and it's definitely on their radars. Donald Trump has spoken about it. It's been around for 11 years, 10 years or whatever, and they haven't outlawed it yet. So why is that? Why didn't they just kill it before it's starting to grow heads? and the amount of people that would be the amount of protests that would happen and backlash to try and outlaw Bitcoin right now would be enormous in a country like the United States, in my opinion. So I think the chances of a government outlawing Bitcoin completely is very, very low, and to actually eradicate Bitcoin is essentially impossible. People say the government are going to outlaw it because people will use it to evade taxes, but it'd be much easier to evade taxes, or there's already ways to evade taxes, and plenty of people evade taxes using normal dollars, but like still the average Joe can evade taxes by paying with cash or even with gold just as easily, but people don't really do that. And Bitcoin has a permanent ledger of every transaction ever, so it'd actually be potentially a little bit more tricky to evade taxes with Bitcoin. And here's a little speculation about what would happen if the government tried to ban Bitcoin. I think this potentially Bitcoin could be anti-fragile. So what is anti-fragile? Anti-fragile means the more you attack something, the stronger it gets. Rather than weakening it, you're actually making it stronger. So with Bitcoin, if a government tried to attack it, like a lot of what Bitcoin stands for is to take power out of the hands of the government and give the power into the hands of the people, and to not have a socialist monetary system where a central authority controls the money, instead having a decentralized money where no one is in control of the money, and the price of money is determined by whatever the market decides, which is a capitalistic monetary system, unlike the current socialistic monetary system that we have now. So by attacking Bitcoin, people are like, okay, one of the things about Bitcoin is that it's taken the hands out of the power of the government, and people are like, okay, the government's trying to attack Bitcoin, well, we're going to just use this more because the government's trying to oppress us by not allowing us freedom. So more and more people will see, okay, the government's being oppressive here, I think you know what I mean. People will see the government like oppressing us here, and that will create further backlash, and people would be more enticed to use Bitcoin as it's more a vote for freedom or whatever. Alright, if you're enjoying the video so far, I'd really appreciate if you could smash the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already. I usually talk about the stock market and Bitcoin, so if you're interested in those topics, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And let's get on to the second point. And the second point, or second risk to Bitcoin, or what people always think is a risk to Bitcoin, is that another cryptocurrency is going to take Bitcoin's place as the big dog in the cryptocurrency world. Now, personally, I think this has a probability of about 0% of another cryptocurrency coming and taking Bitcoin's place. And let me explain exactly why I think Bitcoin is the top dog and no one's going to take its place. It'd be similar to saying some new shiny metal is going to take the place of gold as a store of value. Like, why would any metal take gold's place? Gold has already been established as the monetary metal store of value. And there's also silver, but like silver is never going to take gold's place. Gold has the highest stock to flow ratio, and it's the oldest lasting one. It's the one that's been around the longest and has the largest network value. Bitcoin also has the power of Metcalfes Law. So Metcalfes Law says that a network is as valuable as the amount of people using the network. So Bitcoin obviously has the most people using that network because it's the first one and it's the biggest one by a long shot. So Bitcoin already has the largest network value using Metcalfes Law. So this is kind of similar to Facebook in the fact that Facebook has the biggest network effect, or had the biggest network effect for so long, and it's for that reason that it'd be very, very difficult for social media to take Facebook's place. Generally, for something to be disrupted, it has to be like 10 times better than what was ever previously there, because people are so entrenched in using this. People are so happy with Bitcoin. A cryptocurrency would have to be 10 times better to take Bitcoin's place. And you might argue that some crypto has 10 times faster transactions, or blah, 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 blah. But there's no denying that Bitcoin has the strongest computer network in the world because it has the most mining power behind it. It has the most people validating transactions. So you would need a computer network that's even stronger than the most strongest computer network in the world, 10 times stronger than that, to have a new cryptocurrency that is more secure than Bitcoin. So it's hard to find a cryptocurrency that can really take Bitcoin's place as the cryptocurrency store of value or the digital gold. For example, the iPhone disrupted BlackBerry because it was 10 times better than a BlackBerry. Tesla is going to disrupt normal ICE vehicles because Teslas are 10 times better than ICE vehicles, in the fact that when you add up everything that's better about them, that'll be 10 times better than an ICE vehicle. When you factor in that it's good for the environment, that the electricity running costs are cheaper, that there's low maintenance, that it's basically a computer on wheels where you can watch Netflix and it drives itself for you in the future. That's what it will do. So Bitcoin is the brand that everyone knows. When someone says name one cryptocurrency, 99.999% of people are going to say Bitcoin. They're not going to say some other cryptocurrency. And we can see other cryptocurrencies that tried to take Bitcoin's place, Bitcoin Cash for example, and that failed miserably. So the chances of something taking Bitcoin's place is extraordinarily low. Another common criticism of Bitcoin is that it's way too volatile to be a good store of value. Now, this is kind of true if you're looking for a store of value for the next few days or the next few months. But if you're looking for a store of value over a period of a few years, yeah, Bitcoin's very volatile, but historically it's been extraordinarily volatile in the upside. Obviously, this can't go on forever, but we can see from the last few years, as if Bitcoin does eventually become a global monetary system or the money of the internet, as a lot of people think it will become, the volatility has been decreasing over the last number of cycles and will continue to decrease as Bitcoin's value becomes larger and larger and larger, because it will take a lot more money either buying or selling to actually impact the price meaningfully. But this is also it's also what you get when you have a money that is decided by the market. The value of the money is decided by the market rather than decided by a central bank. This is one of the trade-offs that you get, that the price or the value might be up and down a little bit over in a short-term period, but at least and the trade-off with having a centrally controlled money supply is that without a shadow of a doubt that it's going to be printed more and more and more. So any money that you have is going to lose value over time. Whereas with Bitcoin, exactly how many new Bitcoin are being minted every 4 years. So Bitcoin's a good store of value unless you're trying to use the Bitcoin to buy something in the next couple of years. But if you're holding it for a long period of time, or just using it sporadically, using parts of your Bitcoin sporadically, you'll be fine. Now the thing is, people don't really realize, but the value of all our currency fluctuates on a daily basis. Maybe not as much as Bitcoin, but if Bitcoin became a global monetary system, things would be priced in Bitcoin. Things wouldn't be priced in dollars anymore, potentially. So something that's 0.1 Bitcoin this month will still be 0.1 Bitcoin next month. And that's the exact same with your dollars or your euros. Something that's 100,000 euro one month might still be 100,000 euro next month, even though the euro is worth 10% less because of inflation from the European Central Bank. All right, just 2 more points and then I'll let you go. And the last one is probably one of the larger risks to Bitcoin in my opinion. But here's another criticism of Bitcoin, is that it wastes too much energy, or that it uses too much energy. And this is a pretty easy one to counteract in the fact that over 60% roughly of Bitcoin's energy output is renewable. So because Bitcoin you don't have to mine Bitcoin obviously there's an enormous amount of electrical output being used to mine Bitcoin. I'm sure you've heard those statistics that Bitcoin's computer network uses the same amount of electricity as Ireland per year or whatever. But the thing is, you can put these mining facilities anywhere in the world, and the best place to put a mining facility is where there's cheap electricity. And where there's cheap electricity is where there's renewable electricity. So where there's wind farm, or where there's geothermal, or where there's a large river, dam, hydroelectric plant. And Bitcoin mining can just be run 24 hours all night, all the time. So we're using renewable energy, and Bitcoin can be put anywhere, whereas a gold mine has to be in a specific place, or a bank has to be in a specific place. So they're much less likely to be using renewable energy. And not even just the fact that the banking industry and the gold industry are less run on renewables. Gold mining is really, really bad for the environment because it uses a lot of oil and petrol, etc. But as we can see from this graph, Bitcoin still doesn't use anywhere near as much energy and cost anywhere near the amount of money that the banking industry and the gold mining industry uses at present. So if Bitcoin did replace gold or replace the banking industry meaningfully, like it's never going to completely eradicate them, but if it does start to, disrupt them a bit, then we can see that it would actually be good for the environment if that happened, not bad for the environment as some people think it would be. All right, so the final criticism of Bitcoin is that quantum computing will kill Bitcoin. And what quantum computing is that it can hack or break cryptography very fast, very quickly. Now the thing with Bitcoin, it's like impossible to crack using normal computing. It would take an enormous amount of time and computing power to hack into Bitcoin or to break the Bitcoin blockchain. However, with quantum computing, we can put in multiple entry numbers for your private key or whatever simultaneously. So you can put in multiple things at the same time. So you could theoretically break Bitcoin a lot faster than traditionally, because Bitcoin's perfectly safe now, but quantum computing could enormously disrupt Bitcoin and could be an enormous risk to Bitcoin. Now, is this going to happen anytime soon? Probably not. Quantum computing is very far away, and breaking cryptography is very, very far away as well. So I couldn't find an enormous amount of information on this topic of the danger of quantum computing. All I found was that it's still a good 20 years away, but it's definitely something I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Now, would there be a solution to this problem? Yes, probably Bitcoin would have to be modified to be resistant to quantum computing, and maybe they'd have to do that using a forking Bitcoin into a new Bitcoin blockchain that's immune to quantum computing. Now that would obviously not be ideal, but we're gonna have to keep an eye on this and see what happens, and keep your ear to the ground about the quantum computing and if it does pose a threat to Bitcoin. But I haven't found a definitive answer on that one, so it's definitely something I'm going to keep an eye on. Alright, so that's everything I wanted to say for this video. I really hope you enjoyed the video and you learned something. If you did, I'd appreciate it if you could smash the thumbs up button. Small little channel, and it would really help me get off the ground. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.